Okay, we are live on Facebook and on GOTV for the Zoning Board of Adjustment regular meeting, May 20, 2020. You can call the meeting to order, Chairman.
All right, call this meeting to order. I think we start with the roll call, isn't that correct?
Okay. Ryan Mitchell.
Present.
John Olinger. Carol Lee Kern. Catherine Wildbrenner.
Present.
John Hendricks. John? He's there, but where is he?
Are you still there, John? I'm gonna go see if he's still logged in. We're gonna have to wait until we can get John back.
Is that Ryan or John coughing?
That was Ryan.
Okay. Thought we had John back.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
I don't know how much longer we'll have to do teleconference like this, or the governor hasn't given us any direction. So we'll just keep doing our meetings as is for a while until we know.
That's fine with me, if it's fine with everybody else.
Yeah, our building is still closed. Okay.
Have we still not got John Hendricks?
We do.
We do? He's
I
back.
haven't heard from him.
Okay. We're waiting now for John Hendricks to get reconnected, as well as John Olinger is trying to call in. So we'll be just a little bit of a...
I can hear you. I can hear you.
We can hear you. Is this John?
Hi. I hear
This
you,
is
John.
John. Okay.
Okay. Do we want to just try the roll one more time and make sure we know who's here?
Ryan Mitchell.
Present.
Catherine Wildbrenner.
Present.
John Hendricks.
Present.
John Olinger.
Present.
Carol Lee Kern.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, Carol Lee is absent still. So we do have a quorum.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from October 2019, January 2020, and April 2020. Has everyone received those?
I have
Reviewed those?
I have, and I have several corrections on them.
Okay.
John Hendricks is okay.
What are the corrections?
Okay, are we actually doing the October ones today?
I think we're approving the minutes.
Okay, we never took action. The only action we took on that was the fact that we were going to postpone it. And the minutes does not reflect that.
For the conditional
then
use
as-
permit?
That was for the church.
Oh, that was October,
You
excuse me.
recall that?
This is the bed and breakfast. I thought we approved of that.
No, this was the church over on the Five Corners, the old Willard Street Church.
I don't have the October.
Okay. You're right. You're right, I think.
I see that. So it doesn't say that we did that we made a decision, but it also doesn't say that we didn't. Are you just asking that we would add?
Yeah,
The motion was tabled.
I think, yeah, because there was nothing, we didn't do anything, just postponed it. So I think the minutes should reflect the fact that it was postponed. As it turned out, they never did bring it back to the table. They were able to take care of things. But I mean, at the time when this meeting took place, we did not say yay or nay. We just postponed it for further information.
Okay.
What other changes do you have?
On that one, that's the only one I have on that one.
Okay.
Then on the April 15th, where the variance request for the Albia Road, it has me as the chair or vice chair at the top under members present. It should be John Olinger as the vice chair. And then also at the bottom where the chairperson signs the minutes, it's got my name. It should be your name, Ryan.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the page where it has minutes, just before the agenda, it says the minutes will be presented at the next meeting. It should note what minutes are going to be presented. There's no date, it just says minutes.
Okay.
And then on
I think I took that right from the
the January
agenda.
minutes, the old business, well, it wasn't old business, it's actually new business, the election of officers. That is not in the minutes, it should be. Ryan as chair and John Olinger as vice chair. That's omitted from the minutes and it should be there. And then in the middle of it, it shows that I opened the public hearing, but it does not show that I closed the public hearing. That should be it. That should be added too. And for clarity on wording, under the word minutes, just before the agenda, it says the October 9 minutes will be approved at the next meeting. It should just say be presented because there's no approval guaranteed. Am I making myself plain as mud there?
I think we have them all. Is there anything else?
Oh.
Okay.
Not that I caught. And also, and I don't know, but it probably should be part of the minutes when we talked about the church. I just now remembered about that. John Hendricks was present, but we were in the courtroom and he was having difficulty hearing. and same as me, it just echoes so bad in there. So he had to leave the meeting and come over to me, and I know this cannot show the minutes, but he gave me his approval of the request. I know that can't be part of the minutes, but the only reason why I remember this is the fact that he told me that he should be reflected in the minutes as being there, but having to have left before the meeting was over.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to approve?
I move that
the
you,
minutes?
I move you approve the minutes as adjusted.
You have a second?
Who moved those?
Who? Was that John Olinger that made the motion?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I'll approve. I'll make the second, pending the corrections on the minutes, all 3 minutes.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Those opposed, same sign. All right. Motion's approved. Minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing, conditional use permit at 116 North Green. Do we need a motion to go into public hearing?
Yes.
Yes.
You just opened it.
Oh, okay.
You just
I
opened
open
the
it?
public hearing.
All
yeah.
right.
You'll need a motion to close it, so.
Okay. All right. So, Zach, did you want to discuss this
Yeah.
issue?
Yes. This is a conditional use permit to allow for multifamily on the ground and ground floor residential at 116 North Green. This building's in the downtown C4, and so first floor residential use is a conditional use. Typically, we would look to keep downtown buildings where the first floor is reserved for commercial use. But in this case, the applicants are asking to do all residential. At this time, they wanted to pursue at least 2 apartments in the building, possibly more as part of a historic focused renovation. The staff looks at a number of factors when making a recommendation for this type of use. Those are in the packet, but I'll go over them for the sake of transparency. The first is land use. The nature and intensity of the operations need to be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the district. In this case, the building is at the edge of the C4 district and is different than the surrounding properties and does not have any neighboring buildings that are directly adjacent to the main structure, which is different than most of the buildings in the C4 and is part of the reason why we try to maintain commercial at elevation on those buildings. Second, the proposed change to the building or lot should not hinder the appropriate development of the and use of the adjacent buildings. We don't believe that that's the case in this case. We also checked with Main Street Ottumwa for their opinion, and Fred Zesiger did respond that they didn't have an objection and they believe that this wouldn't hinder the appropriate development of the district. We also are supposed to look at bulk standards, residential setbacks. Those are not relevant in this case. Architectural character. In this case, the applicant has indicated that the sale would facilitate a renovation that would improve the architectural character of what is now somewhat a blighted building. This building is on the National Register of Historic Places, and something that would move toward a renovation would be beneficial to the district. And then there is building mass is not relevant in this case. In the downtown C4, there is an exemption from off-street parking requirements. However, because the building isn't directly adjacent to other buildings, it does have a number of on-street parking spaces that would be appropriate or off-street parking spaces that would be appropriate here. Building sustainability. Again, this building is underutilized and in need of renovation. We hope that the sale would facilitate a renovation that would improve sustainability, and there wouldn't be any adverse effects from artificial light, colored light, flashing light, or loudspeakers that would be part of this development. And so the staff took this recommendation to the Planning and Zoning Commission on April 6th, and they voted to forward a positive recommendation to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. That vote was unanimous. We haven't received any comment, is that correct, Peggy?
We have not.
For or against the conditional use permit. I'll quickly check and make sure there's no one at the door, and then you can do with what you need to with the public hearing.
I have a question on, for Zach when he comes back.
I'm back. There's no one at the door.
Okay, hey, Zach, you said this was listed on the National Historic Registry. It's part of a district, but it's not individually listed, is it?
My understanding is that it is individually listed. It's the Legion building.
Because I don't ever remember it being listed or talked about as being an individual listing.
I can research the answer to that probably pretty quickly.
I guess it wouldn't matter. I know it's in the district there.
Zach, are you looking that up?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I think John may be right that it's just contributing to the Greater Second Street District, and that's a good note to add to it. It is a contributing structure in a historic district, but it isn't individually listed on the registry.
Good question, John.
Are there any other questions? And Zach, I guess, do we go into
I move to close the public meeting. Public hearing.
Before we do that, is there anyone, do we talk to people from the public to see, or do we just close it and then talk about it?
If there was anybody from the public that had comment, we would do that before we close the public hearing. There's no one at the door, and there were no comments received before the meeting.
Okay, perfect. Is there a second to close?
I'll second.
All right. So, John, is that your motion to close?
Pardon? Yes, to close the public hearing.
Okay, John Olinger. All right. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed, same sign. All right, hearing none opposed. Hearing's closed. And I guess, do we go now to approving this? Do we have a motion to approve, or do we need to debate it or talk about it?
If there is any discussion, this would be the time to discuss it, or else a motion to do something with the application.
I'll go ahead and move that you approve the application. Then you can discuss it after that. Yeah, and then you can discuss it after if the motion is on the floor, then you discuss it.
I seconded it. Did you catch that?
Who made the motion?
John Olinger.
Okay. All right.
Now we're in discussion.
Yeah, is there any discussion on
I did talk to the people in the old Traxxas building, which is right behind that, and they didn't have any objections.
Thanks, John. Any other discussion? All right.
Not for me.
All those in favor of the approval of the conditional use permit at 116 North Green, say aye.
Do we do that
Aye.
by roll call?
We can.
Sure.
Okay.
Peggy, do
Catherine,
you want to do a roll call?
sure. Catherine Wildbrenner,
Yes.
John Olinger,
Yes.
John Hendricks,
Aye.
Ryan Mitchell,
Yes.
and that approved.
All right. It's approved, unanimous. Looks like the agenda, we don't have any old business. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. And then no new business. Anyone have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. We've got a first and second. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 John Hendricks, aye.
Perfect. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, could we get a copy of the minutes that shows
Sure.
the correction
Sure.
before the